entertainment, the birth of Duck Down Music, Duck Down Records. You want to tell them?
Well, I would say, first of all, it's been 16 or 17 years ago now, so we're going back. And I was an intern, started as an intern at an independent label called Nervous Records. And Buckshot was an aspiring artist who had a single deal at Nervous Records. You didn't have an album deal, you had a single deal. So, you know, for the most part, every day I was sitting up front as an intern. I had a lot of roles. At an independent label, you do everything that is capable. You know, you wear a lot of hats. So I would sit up front and literally answer the phones. And every day, or it seemed like every day, Buckshot would come up to the office and the owner of the label would literally, you know, he'd make them wait before he would see them. So it would be like me sitting here answering the phones and Buckshot sitting on the couch. And it just gave us a lot of time to kind of, you know, talk and get to know each other. I'll get that out. Anyway, that started it, and little did he know that I was an aspiring rapper myself. Not a good one, but
I'm a mastermind.
That was where my thoughts were. It was like intern at a hip hop label and do something around hip hop because I loved it, and then get to meet an artist. And I got the chance to hear his song right off the bat. They already had music recorded, so I got to hear it, and I knew that it was something special that I was listening to. And I figured if, you know, maybe he could help me out.
So, we had this thing where I was a young teenager, and I'm coming from Franklin Avenue, Crown Heights, Brooklyn, and I couldn't drive. I didn't know how to drive at all. And I would always be amazed at any time somebody would drive, because I would just watch them, you know, put their foot on one pedal and put the other foot on the other pedal. And this is during like Who Got the Props, mind you. So I'm just sitting there, and every time we get in his car, little do Drew know that I'm always looking down at his feet, you know, and I'm amazed, and I'm like, damn it, man. Like, yo, if I can only learn how to do that right now. So one day, I'm probably not remember the exact agreement time, but me and Drew came up with this agreement where, because he was telling me about him wanting to learn how to rhyme and wanting to learn how to, you know.
I knew how to rhyme a little bit.
Yeah, he wanted to learn more. Well, what's funny is because that takes me back to the era of highs and the lows, and that's actually when I started to bring out what it is to go from highs and lows in MCing, and not just like, how do you tell somebody, how do you instruct a person on how to flow or how to rhyme? You know, that's a hard thing to do. And like you said, he was already rhyming, so he already got the concept of how to, you know, rhyme it. But the flows, the bringing it from the top, bringing it to the bottom, sticking it in the middle, bringing it to the side, bringing it straight to your face, like all those things is characteristics of personality.
But he got me. You got me though, because basically where we're going with this is, he said to me, he made a deal. He said, "Look, you teach me how to drive, and I'll give you some rhyming lessons." So we went to, I was like, hey, that's great. And, you know, I took him, and we went to a parking lot, and I was sitting there trying to, like, I was telling him what to do. He was so caught up behind the wheel, and every time I would ask him a question about rapping, he was like, yeah, like, but he was so busy, it was like he was driving a go-kart. And I think that was really like the defining moment in our relationship of like where we kind of made our first deal together.
Wait, so you were actually doing the driving lessons and the rhyming lessons at the same time?
At the same exact time. Okay. And mind you, it's a stick. It was a stick. So that made it even more interesting because I didn't know how to drive, period, let alone how to drive a stick. So as I'm doing this thing, I'm like, he's going, he's like, I'm like, Drew, yo, is this how? And I'm getting, and he's like, Buck. He's spitting, and he's like, how was that one? And I was like, yeah, that was good. That was good. That's what I'm talking about. You getting it. You definitely. How do you push this part? It's getting stuck.
And that led, ultimately, that moment right there, that led to, you know, to his credit, he really understood that meant something to me. And as we recorded into the stage, and the relationship grew, he actually gave me a chance to be on that album. A lot of people who follow BlackMoon and know the early works know there's a song called "You the Man," which features Smith & Wesson and Havoc from Mobb Deep, and it also features Big Drew High, which is me. And I got to do a verse on the BlackMoon album, which was like going to fantasy camp. You know, they have those NFL, they like go to the training camp for a day. It was like I got to be a rapper for a day, and you know, it was an incredible experience.
Can I just say this one last point before we that particular session, or that particular time, Drew came in with like, was it more than 140?
No, I could only drink. I couldn't even finish a 40, but it was 140.
140, and the tension in that room that day must have been so crazy, because back then there was always a lot of tension of when you was coming to spit your verse that day. During that era, it was like a look at you like.
Beat miners, Evil D and Mr. Walt are sitting behind the board, so you know it had to be.
And we had Havoc from Mobb Deep there also in 5FT and Smith & Wesson. So again, everybody's looking at each other like this, like, yeah, you got your verse ready? Like, yo, hold it tight. So Drew's like, yo.
But you ripped it though. It's a dope verse.
I did my thing.
and he ripped it.
Did he rip it, Buck? I mean, you're the teacher, so you.
No. Wait, you know what? I have a clip. I have a clip ready. I want to show you guys something. This is from. I'm gonna flash us forward to 2011. Rock the Bells. A few thousand people, and this went down over the summer. Look at the crowd. So honestly, I never get to say this, and I'm saying it right now, but I thank you. I thank you so much, because that was like a dream come true, to be able to take that with me throughout, 16, 17 years, and everywhere we go once in a while at a show, someone will say, yo, you the man, you the man. We get to do it, so I thank you.
Man, and thank you for blessing the people, because the people was the bottom line, you know what I'm saying? And I always never get enough of saying that. Like, I can love you and feel you, but when you deliver for the people, and the people themselves be like, yo, I feel your energy and your intent, and that's the bottom line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because like I said, just last thing, there's a line where I say, give him the stage, yeah, do that to him. Because he can never stand on stage in that norm. Like, that getting on that stage is one of the hardest things to do, period. Because when that bright light hits you and that crowd come at you, they're like a pack of lions that just want to eat you. You gotta feed them.
Yep, I hear you. What